the size is bigger than just retail playing, but I think institutions have literally seen this movie before and are getting involved in the action as well.
Hi Team Value, JJ here, welcome back. Well, is meme stock madness back? Is GameStop back? Is Roaring Kitty back? Well, Roaring Kitty does seem to be back. We're going to investigate this today, have a look, because there's been movement. Will it continue? We'll have a look at what's going on, what financial media is saying about it, and what's happened so far. I've talked about animal spirits being back in the market. We've seen this with AI stocks. Are we seeing the comeback of meme stocks already? Can this be happening already after 2021 and 2020, that madness back then? Could it all be back? We're going to get into that today. And if we have a look here, we can see that Roaring Kitty's X or Twitter profile back in June 2021, it was Sleeping Kitty, Kitty going to sleep. And now he posted, and it's Keith Gill's his name, Roaring Kitty. And now he's posted this, which seems to imply that he's back in the game. A gamer in a chair leaning forward, I'm back in the game. And then after that, he posted a number of videos.
It's over.
We're done. When I say we're done.
You get the idea, he's back. And if we look at what happened to the stock, it went up 74.4%, then after hours up another 21%, so it's definitely on the rise. The thing is, this hasn't just happened over the past day. If we go back a month, we can see that it's up 202%, and so is this a coordinated comeback? Is this a planned comeback from Roaring Kitty here? And what the other meme stocks we can see here also got dragged up. AMC, that other meme stock back then, was up 78% in a day. Hertz was another one that rose a little bit on the excitement. So are meme stocks back? Will it be the same stocks? Will it be different stocks this time? How long will it last? We just don't know, but let's investigate further. A quick roundup of what's just happened.
Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, the man who helped spark 2021's meme stock craze, posted a meme on X for the first time in nearly 3 years on Sunday night. And the cat's return sparked a frenzy across social media platforms, leading GameStop to more than double at one point in the first hour of trading on Monday. With GameStop adding $6 billion in market value at Monday's peak, despite caution from Wall Street, it begs the question, are meme stocks back? Former meme darlings AMC and Hertz rallied double digits, and newcomers like Reddit and Trump Media saw shares jump higher. The gains came as chatter across popular forums reawakened some of the animal spirits from the boom 3 years ago. However, the debate is whether those same retail traders have the time, the cash, and the interest in pushing these stocks back to the moon. The world looks a lot different now than it did when cooped-up traders used apps to entertain themselves. People are back to work, credit card delinquencies are at a decade high, and investors who were late to the party are still down a lot of money. Even with Monday's gains, GameStop is more than 70% below its peak, and AMC Entertainment has lost more than 99%.
Well, we'll have to see. It does look like they're back already. They've gone up a lot. Can it be sustained? Are we going to see the same thing? Animal spirits do seem to be back, and maybe people have some money to spend. People did lose a lot. A lot of people who were waiting for the mother of all short squeezes, which never came with AMC. YouTubers disappeared who were concentrating on these meme stocks, and it didn't go as planned. So is Roaring Kitty here planning to have it all come back, seeing that animal spirits are returning to the market over the past month and with AI stocks as well? Is this a comeback, and are we going to see another crazy time in the market like we saw back then? Now, if you're getting value out of this GameStop meme stock episode so far, I'd really appreciate it if you manage to smash that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. Thanks.
Take a look at that stock, though. And it had been up when Sarah was doing it at the top of the show, 110%. Yeah, the meme trade may very well be back. Roaring Kitty, remember that name of Wall Street Bets fame? He's returned, and shares of GameStop are up as a result. Stock's been halted 7 times since trading got underway. That's just in 45 minutes. So I don't even know if it's halted again. Let's get over to Kate Rooney. Just tell us what you're hearing and what's going on here, Kate.
Hey, David. Yeah, so this is Keith Gill's first online post we've seen in 3 years. Roaring Kitty, as he's also known, was, if you remember, really the Pied Piper of the meme stock frenzy in 2021. He led those online traders to the infamous GameStop short squeeze. This morning, With just 10 minutes of trading, the stock did 3.5 times the normal volume. But it's not just GME, guys. Other so-called meme stocks like AMC are also catching a bit. It is one sign of overall risk appetite increasing. You'll also see that showing up in the options market, especially for the most volatile corner of that, ultra short maturities, once really reserved for professional traders. 0 days to expire options have climbed in popularity among everyday investors. These are one-day bets on the direction of the market, which can offer outsized returns, rewards, and also outsized risk. Last week, retail activity in 0 DTE options, as they're known, saw the biggest weekly sales since the beginning of the year. That's according to JP Morgan. They are making up a larger slice of overall options trades out there.
Retail investors ramping up risk is the headline there. She mentioned a further appetite for risk. Are we really going to go through this again? We've got Nvidia earnings coming up as well, and AI stocks going to the moon. They're not exactly meme stocks, but we have seen a number of stocks being really volatile, both going up and down in this earnings season. Some going down as much as 20-25%, and some going up that much too. You know, tech's had a ramp up since the bear market of 2022. Could this be heading into another crazy period? We're going to have to see, but it's starting to look like that.
And meanwhile, there has been less buying of some of the safer proxies for cash. Vanda Research points out slowing flows into money market funds after this surge of inflows as rates started to rise. Vanda says all of this new risk appetite is a function of chasing rising risk asset prices. They say tax-related peak retail bearishness is now in the rearview mirror. They note that retail has been rotating more aggressively into single stock.
Keith Gill, a.k.a. Roaring Kitty, he could have gone into the options market, bought short-term dated options that you're referring to, and then put out his tweet with the chair, and then, I mean, enormous gains, right? You could have bought the 30s, I guess. I can't imagine those cost very much a day or two ago.
Very well could have, and you're also seeing just more options activity in general. I mean, I mentioned 0 DTE. Jay Clayton, at a conference last week, called that gambling, called out some of these really risky pockets of the market. And, this is in no way indicative of the average retail trader, but you are seeing this prevailing corner of the market that's still willing to bet on a stock like GameStop, which really there's no fundamental reason why the stock is moving. It is seen as essentially a gamble here.
Could this be a pump by Keith Gill that's responsible for this? He's obviously got a lot of power, a lot of social impact. And so what will happen? Will he dump it? What's going on? Is it going to be sustained? Everybody's kind of waiting to see what he might say next. So this week's going to be pretty interesting in terms of these meme stocks. But is it going to kick off the whole meme stock thing again?
You wrote about the increased activity long before. And in fact, if you take a look at GameStop's chart, its stock rally started probably 3 weeks ago or so, and that's when you started seeing the unusual activity.
That's correct. It's difficult to call anything unusual in GameStop options. However, going back about 2 to 3 weeks, there was a large amount of very far out of the money call options bought. This started in April 26th into the first week of May, and the strike is centered around the 30 strike. About 70,000 of the May 30 calls traded over the last 2 to 3 weeks. And it seemed to really set the groundwork for this move when the time seemed to line up.
What are institutions saying to you when they see this sort of activity, especially given what we know about 2021? It was a fairly short-lived phenomenon.
There's two sides of this. I'm seeing both sides of it. On one hand, traders that think that the stock is detaching from its fundamental value have limits in how they can bet against the stock reverting back lower based on it being too dangerous to sell this stock short. There was a large amount of puts traded today, 11 times the normal daily volume traded in puts. So there are people buying puts thinking the stock's going to go lower. However, some of the institution accounts that I speak to remember in January 2021, the move had more legs than I think a lot of people realized. That once this move happened, thinking about the supply and demand of who's buying the stock, who's selling the stock, it didn't revert lower immediately. It kept a floor to it. So I did see some players looking to play the stock saying somewhat range bound, because as you pointed out, the options are extremely expensive right now.
It did go on for quite some time, and it was sustained, of course, driven by retail enthusiasm, and Roaring Kitty had a lot to do with that. It didn't work. GameStop did go down, AMC down, but could the same people be back? Is it a new crop of retail investors here? Institutions involved?
When you take a look at the activity, David, and the activity that we've seen over the past few weeks, is it your view that these are mostly retail traders? or were they trades in size, which would indicate institutions?
I think both, but I think institutions were definitely involved, given the size of what's traded. About 2 billion of options notional traded today, 5 billion of stock notional traded, which is large for how GameStop has been trading. But this is still about 1/10 of the size that we saw trade in January of 2021. So the size is bigger than just retail playing, but I think institutions have literally seen this movie before and are getting involved in the action as well.
So both institutions and retail investors both seeing what's happening. This kind of is lining up to be a similar thing again, with institutional money already in. As he said, it seems to be both. So another battle. Now, as we've seen, GameStop's turned into a mid-cap stock again. It should really be a small cap, and I like small cap stocks, as my Patreon members know. I talk about small cap stocks, good ones hopefully over there all the time, as opposed to GameStop, which really is not a good company. I'll put a link in the description to that Patreon if you want to go and check that out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put a video here of what YouTube thinks that you in particular should watch next, so go and see that now if you want to. And thanks to everybody for watching or listening, and I'll see you in the next one.